The bombing is stopped. The fires are out. Europe lies in ruins. The dead are gone forever. The living carry on. Time to count the cost. Time to start again.
These words began in episode 25 of the famous British documentary series of the 1970s, The World at War, which took viewers into the chaos that spread across Central Europe at the close of the Second World War. In short, this was a period marked by very little compassion toward anyone considered an opponent, and where disorder, suspicion, and confusion were widespread. In this setting, Czechoslovakia became one of the main centers of what was called the Savage Peace. It turned into one of the most intense areas where extreme violence appeared after the war, as people, hardened by years of harsh occupation, directed their anger at any German soldier or civilian they encountered. The images convey the story. Yet among them, one stands out in particular, surviving in public memory as the clearest example of the suffering faced by women after the war. In the opening moments of this episode, a woman, obviously exhausted and with severe injuries to her face, walks along a deserted road, initially unaware that a camera is filming her. These photographs, taken in May 1945, remained unidentified for almost 30 years until their use in the BBC documentary triggered efforts to learn who she was. She is now commonly called online the Lost German Girl. But who is the Lost German Girl, really? And what has been discovered about her since she appeared in this series more than 50 years ago? Today we examine one of the most unsettling and compelling mysteries left by the aftermath of the Second World War in Europe. It's May 1945. The Second World War had just ended in Europe. Germany surrendered unconditionally on the 8th of May, marking the fall of the Third Reich. Still, the effects of years of war were clear. After 6 years of fighting, much of Europe was in ruins, filled with confusion and despair, leaving little hope for immediate peace. During this time, an American film crew from the U.S. Army Signal Corps, led by Captain Orrin Haglund, went into western Bohemia, near Pilsen in Czechoslovakia. Their mission was simple: to record on film the reality of a country devastated by war. Meanwhile, in Prague, Czech partisans started a large uprising after the fall of Berlin and Hitler's death. Even though Germany had surrendered, the fighting continued. On the 6th of May, Soviet forces under Marshal Ivan Konev entered Prague to secure the remaining German positions, a campaign lasting until the 11th of May. Not all German troops surrendered immediately. Army Group Center in Prague refused to give up to the Soviets. To avoid capture, German leaders moved west, hoping to surrender to American forces. It was during this retreat that Captain Haglund filmed one of the most remembered images of the war: a young woman who would later be called the Lost German Girl, a figure representing civilian vulnerability during these days. On the 5th of May, historian Petros Tsironis notes in On the Demarcation Line that German forces began retreating as the uprising started. Groups of soldiers, many with families connected to Czech women, moved toward Pilsen, about 90 kilometers away, aiming to surrender to the Americans. By the 8th of May, near Mito, these groups met American troops. They surrendered weapons and were escorted to Pilsen without incident. Between Holubkov and Rokycany, a group of more than 2,000 prisoners split into two. One group of Wehrmacht soldiers and civilians moved under escort to Pilsen. The second group, about 200 people, including SS members and the Lost German Girl, stopped briefly by the roadside. After a few hours, the second group continued, but tensions arose. Leaving Rokycany, less than 18 kilometers from Pilsen, a clash occurred between prisoners and American escorts. This confrontation appears to have been triggered by complaints about attacks from local partisans. The violence left 26 Germans dead and several injured. On Highway 605, the Lost German Girl suffered a serious blow to her face. No evidence suggests sexual assault, but images show her stripped of outer clothing. She later appears in trousers that seem too large. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 8th of May, Haglund filmed her at kilometer 78 of Highway 605. She was walking toward the camera, confused and clearly injured. She was later taken to a transit area called Garden 89 near Apovice, about 12 kilometers from Pilsen. She was last documented there. Determining if she was civilian or military is difficult, but Haglund's images provide clues. Red German Labor Front booklet from the Sudetenland. This suggests she may have been a civilian worker rather than a military member. However, Haglund's notes list her as an SS girl, conflicting with the Labor Front booklet, suggesting she was treated as a prisoner of war. Her loose-fitting trousers leave questions about whether she was SS, a Luftwaffe auxiliary, or a civilian using borrowed clothing. 3 main outcomes are possible. As a civilian, she likely went to a train station and then Germany with other ethnic Germans. The SS girl label points to another path. Dr. Jutta Rudiger in On the Problem of Women Soldiers, 1987, reports that on the 9th of May, women from both the Wehrmacht and SS were taken to Garden 89 near Apovice, forming protective groups against partisans. Civilians were sent to train stations, while Wehrmacht personnel continued to Pilsen, leaving SS-classified women behind. Many women were not wearing proper uniforms but were still listed as SS because SS members often changed clothing to avoid attacks. About 100 women with male comrades stayed under American supervision in Garden 89 for nearly 2 weeks before being transferred to Pilsen for questioning. When the Red Army arrived, Americans labeled them as Luftwaffe personnel, delaying any handover. On the 4th of July, they were released in Bayreuth. Rudiger also notes a rare third outcome. 4 women disguised as civilians tried to join Wehrmacht personnel, were discovered, and handed to Czech partisans, disappearing from records. Statistically, this is least likely for the lost German girl. Most likely she followed the Pilsen route and was released in Bayreuth. Her identity remains unknown. Despite research, no sources confirm her name. Online discussions suggest names like Lore Bauer, Lara Bauer, or Ingrid Hansen, but no evidence supports them. Her anonymity does not reduce her symbolic importance. She remains a lasting emblem of the silent suffering endured by women during and even after the war. For her and for many others, the effects of conflict continued long after Germany's surrender.